What makes a person truly weak? It's not a lack of money, not failures, and not a need for external approval. True weakness is hidden deep within us. These are invisible errors in thinking that, like rust, corrode our will and sap our strength. Unknowingly, we create mental traps that prevent us from living a full life. Want to find out which 5 traps are holding you captive and how to break free from them? Then let's begin. Error number 1. Living in the illusion of control. Many people think life is a chessboard where every move can be calculated. They believe that if they are diligent enough, smart enough, and careful enough, they can avoid all problems. They make plans for years ahead, mapping out every step, every minute. And when something goes wrong, they break, because their world, their illusion of control, comes crashing down. A strong person knows that life is unpredictable. They understand that there are things they can't control: the weather, the actions of other people, global events. They don't waste energy fighting the inevitable. Instead, they focus on what is within their power: their thoughts, their reactions, their actions. Let's look at this from a skeptical point of view. We can't know the future with certainty. Any prediction we make is just a hypothesis based on available data, and that data is always incomplete. Therefore, the belief in having complete control over life is nothing more than a cognitive distortion. It's an attempt to find security where there is none. It's like building a house on sand and being surprised when it collapses during a storm. Here's an example. An acquaintance of mine, let's call her Vera, planned out a perfect career. She graduated from a top university, got a job at a prestigious company, and worked 12-hour days. Her plan was simple: department head in 5 years, director in 10. But life intervened. The company underwent a restructuring, and her position was eliminated. Vera was devastated. She couldn't understand how her perfect plan could have failed. She spent months trying to find a similar job, but without success. Her self-confidence was shattered because she believed that success was solely the result of her efforts. Another acquaintance, Dmitry, approached his career differently. He worked just as hard, but always kept in mind that things could change. He developed various skills, networked with people from different fields, and was always ready for new opportunities. When his company faced a crisis, he didn't panic. He used his connections and skills to quickly find a new job in a different, more promising industry. He didn't control the events, but he controlled his reaction to them. He was prepared for uncertainty. To become stronger, you need to let go of the illusion of control. Stop trying to manage every aspect of your life. Focus on being flexible. Accept the fact that you can't know what will happen tomorrow. Learn to adapt. When you embrace uncertainty, you stop being afraid. You start to see opportunities where you once saw only threats. This is what true strength is.
Error number 2, living in the past or the future. We are constantly trapped in time. We either dwell on the past, reliving old hurts and mistakes, or we live in the future, endlessly planning and worrying about what hasn't happened yet. We are rarely here and now, in the moment. We miss the present, and this makes us weak. This weakness not only makes us unhappy, but it robs us of our ability to act. When you live in the past, your decisions are based on outdated information. You try to fix what has already happened. And when you live in the future, you are paralyzed by fear. You're afraid to take a step because it might lead to some imaginary scenario. You become a spectator of your own life, not a participant. A strong person understands that the past is just a story, and the future is just a fantasy. The only thing they have is the present moment. They learn from the past, but they don't let it define their present. They make plans for the future, but they don't let worry about it paralyze them. They live in the moment, enjoying every single second. This doesn't mean they are reckless. It means they are pragmatic. They know that the only moment in which they can change something is now. Every action they take, every choice they make, happens in the present. And these actions shape their future. Skepticism teaches us that memory is an unreliable thing. We often recall events not as they actually were, but as we want to see them. We rewrite our history to fit our current emotions. We can remember the past as a golden age to avoid present disappointments, or as an eternal nightmare to justify our inaction. This is just a narrative we create for ourselves. The same goes for the future. We can't know what will happen. All our fears and hopes are just projections of our consciousness, and they have nothing to do with reality. These projections are products of our mind. We create them ourselves and then let them control us. It's like looking at a shadow and believing it's a real monster. Here's a story from life. My colleague, Oleg, couldn't forgive himself for a mistake he made on a past project. He constantly went back to it, replaying in his head how he could have acted differently. He was a talented professional, but his constant self-recriminations made him indecisive and ineffective. He was afraid to make decisions because he was afraid of making another mistake. His past held him captive. He constantly told the same story about his failure, even when no one asked. It became his identity. He was that guy who failed the project. And as long as he lived in that story, he couldn't move forward. He couldn't take on new, challenging tasks because his brain would immediately say, "You've already failed. Why try again?" This internal battle made him weak and exhausted. With his own hands, he built a prison of memories and locked himself inside it. Here's another example. My friend, Lisa, was constantly worried about the future. She thought about what would happen if she got fired, if she didn't find a good partner, if she didn't manage to buy an apartment. Her brain was in a constant state of anxiety. She couldn't enjoy her current life because her thoughts were filled with scenarios that would never happen. She constantly felt drained. She turned down dates because she was afraid they wouldn't lead to anything. She put off buying new clothes because she thought she would soon have to save money. Her anxiety about the future was so strong that she wasn't living in the present. She was giving up joy, opportunities, and experience to prepare for problems that might never exist. Her imagination, which should have been a source of creativity, became a source of her weakness. To become stronger, you need to learn to be here and now. This is not just a beautiful phrase, it is a skill that can be trained. Meditation, mindfulness, and simple breathing exercises are not esoteric. They are scientifically proven methods that help you return to the present moment. When you walk down the street, notice the trees, feel the wind. When you eat, notice the taste of the food. When you talk to someone, listen to them without thinking about what you will say next. This is called mindfulness, and it teaches your brain to focus on one thing, not 10 things at once. It helps you separate real facts from your fantasies about the past or the future. You can start small. In the morning, when you drink coffee, don't sit on your phone. Just feel the warmth of the mug. Breathe in the aroma. Taste it. When you're on the subway, look up from your screen and just watch the people. Notice how they move, what they are wearing. This may seem silly, but it trains your brain to be here and now. With each passing day, you will feel more and more rooted in the present moment, and your anxiety about the past and future will weaken. Understand that the only power you have is the power of the present. You can't change the past, but you can learn from it. You can't control the future, but you can shape it with your actions here and now. Live in the moment, and you will see how much power it holds. It will manifest in your decisiveness, in your ability to enjoy the little things, in your confidence that you can handle any situation, because you will be reacting to what is happening, not to what has already happened or hasn't happened yet.
Error number 3, seeking approval from others. Many of us were taught from childhood to be good, good children, good students, good colleagues. We are afraid to say no, afraid to offend, afraid to seem selfish. We try to please everyone around us, sacrificing our own desires and interests. We agree to jobs we don't like, meet people we're not interested in, and do what is expected of us. This desire to be convenient for everyone is a huge weakness. It makes you a hostage to other people's expectations. You stop being the master of your own life. You live by someone else's script, not your own. As a result, you lose yourself. You stop understanding what you really want, what's important to you, and what isn't. Your energy goes into maintaining other people's illusions about you. Skepticism teaches us to question authority. And the most important authority we must question is other people's opinions of us. We can't know what people really think. Their words might be insincere. Their praise might be a manipulation. Their criticism might just be a projection of their own problems. And even if they are sincere, their opinion is based on their own values and experiences, not yours. An example from my life. My friend, let's call him Denise, was always the life of the party. He never said no to anyone. They asked him to help with a move, and he agreed, even if he was sick. They asked him to work on the weekend, and he agreed, even if he had other plans. Everyone considered him a wonderful guy, but he himself felt empty. He wasn't living his own life, but the lives of other people. At one point, he just burned out. He lost interest in everything, stopped talking to his friends, and became depressed. To become strong, you need to learn to say no. This doesn't mean you have to become selfish and ignore everyone around you. It means you have to learn to prioritize. Your desires, your interests, your time, these are the most valuable things you have. If you constantly give them away to others, you'll have nothing left. Self-respect is the foundation, and you won't be able to respect yourself if you constantly betray your interests. Start small. Say no to something you don't want to do. Turn down an invitation to a boring party. Say you're busy if someone calls with an inconvenient request. You will see how much time and energy you get back. And most importantly, you will feel your strength returning. You will become the master of your own life again.
Error number 4. Constantly comparing yourself to others. In the age of social media, this has become a real plague. We see perfect bodies, perfect travels, and perfect lives on Instagram, and we start to compare. We compare our salary to a friend's salary, our relationships to those of acquaintances, our success to that of celebrities. We look at other people's success and feel worthless. We see other people's victories and fail to notice our own. This endless race turns into a vicious cycle. You try to reach someone else's level, you reach it, but then you immediately find a new, even higher bar, and so on indefinitely. This race has no finish line because you will always find someone you think is better than you. Comparison is the thief of joy. It doesn't let you enjoy what you have. It creates the illusion that you are always losing, and it makes you weak. You start to doubt yourself, your abilities, your decisions. Your self-esteem plummets, and envy gnaws at you from the inside. Envy is not just an unpleasant feeling. It is a destructive emotion that takes away your energy and prevents you from focusing on your own growth. It makes you want other people's achievements instead of building your own. You stop appreciating your own journey because it's not as bright and fast as others. Skepticism teaches us to be critical of information, especially what we see on social media. We must understand that what we see is not reality. It's a carefully edited, filtered, and polished image. Behind every perfect photo are dozens of failed attempts, and behind every successful project are years of hard work and sleepless nights. You are comparing your everyday life to someone else's public facade. This is an unfair comparison. Think about it. No one posts their failures, their doubts, their financial struggles. We only see the tip of the iceberg, and we draw conclusions about a person's entire life based on that small part. It's like judging a book by its cover. It's illogical and irrational. Imagine a situation. You worked hard on a project, and you finally finished it. You were proud of yourself. You feel a sense of satisfaction. You see the result of your labor. But then you go on social media and see that your classmate launched a startup that has already attracted millions in investment. And that's it. Your joy disappears. You start to think your project is trivial. You devalue your own work. Your pride turns into envy, and your sense of accomplishment turns into a feeling of inadequacy. At that moment, you stop being strong because you are handing over control of your emotions to another person. You are allowing someone else's success to define your value. To overcome this weakness, you need to understand a simple truth. You are comparing someone else's cover to your own essence. You only see what people want to show you. You don't see their sleepless nights, their failures, their inner struggles. You only see the result. And that result is often just the tip of the iceberg. Your path is unique. You have your own talents, your own circumstances, your own opportunities. You cannot compare yourself to another person because you started from different positions and are walking down different roads. It's like comparing a marathon runner to a sprinter. Both are running, but they have different goals and different strategies. Start comparing yourself not with others, but with your past self. Look at how far you've come. What have you learned? What have you accomplished? What habits have you changed? This is the only truly honest way to measure your progress. Your only competitor is yourself. If today you're even 1% better than you were yesterday, that is a victory. This is what true growth is. You can't control what other people do, but you can control your own actions and your own improvements. Stop the endless scrolling. Unsubscribe to accounts that make you feel envious. Focus on yourself, on your goals, on your achievements. Understand that everyone has their own path and their own pace. It's pointless to compare an apple to an orange. You are unique, and your life is too. Your strength is not in being like someone else, but in being yourself. When you stop comparing, you start to value yourself. You start to see your strengths, your successes, and your progress. And that self-confidence is true strength.
Error number 5, striving for perfection. Many people believe in a perfect world, perfect relationships, a perfect job, a perfect home, and they try to achieve this unattainable goal. They spend an enormous amount of effort, time, and energy trying to make everything perfect. The result is always the same: disappointment. Perfectionism is a mask that hides fear: the fear of not being good enough, the fear of criticism, the fear of failure. Perfectionists endlessly postpone starting something because they're afraid the result won't be perfect. They spend hours on insignificant details instead of doing something important. They get stuck in a cycle of endless improvements and never finish anything. Skepticism teaches us that nothing is perfect. There is always room for improvement. The pursuit of perfection is an illusion that only gets in the way of your development. You will never achieve an ideal because it doesn't exist. You can only move toward it. And this movement, this progress, is what is most important. Imagine a writer who wants to write the perfect novel. They sit for weeks on the first chapter, trying to make it flawless. They rewrite it again and again. They never get to the middle of the book because they are stuck at the very beginning. But another writer just sits down and writes. They know the first draft will be far from perfect. They know there will be mistakes and illogicalities, but they finish it. And only after that do they start to improve it. Who has a better chance of succeeding? To overcome perfectionism, you need to accept a simple truth: good enough is already great. You don't need to strive for the ideal. You need to strive for progress. You don't need to be afraid of mistakes. You need to be afraid of inaction. Do something even if it's not perfect. Start small. Launch your project even if it's not 100% ready. Write an article even if it's not perfect. Take the first step even if it's uncertain. The main thing is to start moving, and in the process, you can improve everything. Understand that the world isn't perfect, and people aren't perfect, and your achievements won't be perfect either. And that's okay. The main thing is your desire to grow and develop. The main thing is your progress. Don't waste your energy chasing a phantom. Direct it toward real actions, and you will see yourself become stronger.
Strength is not about controlling everything, being perfect, or getting external approval. It is about awareness, flexibility, and self-respect. It's not something you get, it's something you develop. It's not a final destination, but a constant journey. We all make these mistakes because that's how we were taught. That's how our world works. From childhood, we are taught to strive for an ideal, to compare ourselves to others, and to fear failure. But these lessons make us weak. They keep us trapped. And the only way to get out is to rewrite the rules. Stop playing by other people's scripts and start writing your own. Live in the present. Value your journey and act despite your fear. Understand that your worth doesn't depend on what others think. Your progress isn't measured by how far ahead of others you are, but by how much you have surpassed your past self. Accept that mistakes are not a defeat, but fuel for growth. Every setback is not the end of the world, but simply a signal that you need to change your course. And most importantly, start listening to yourself. Your body, your desires, your instincts. They are smarter than you think. They are guiding you on your own unique path. And this is just the beginning. Realizing these mistakes is the first, most important step. But the real work begins when you start to put this knowledge into practice. When you consciously refuse to compare, even if you really want to. When you say no, even though it's difficult. When you take a step forward, even if you're afraid. And it's in these small daily battles that true strength is born. It doesn't come in a single moment. It accumulates. Every conscious action you take makes you a little stronger. Do you want more ideas like these? Do you want to know how to turn theory into practice? How to stop thinking and start doing? If so, please like this video as it helps me understand what topics you're interested in and motivates me to create more content like this. Share in the comments which of these mistakes you encounter most often and what you're already doing to overcome it. Your experience can help others. And of course, subscribe to the channel to learn how to become even stronger. See you in the next video.